What is up, everybody? My name is Jay, and yes, finally, I am back. It's been months, man. It really feels like ages since I've last done anything closely related to vaping. And I gotta admit, it feels great to be back. It just feels awesome to be able to be in front of this camera and being able to talk about anything and everything related to vaping. And it's nothing short of a privilege, no doubt. Hands down, I gotta thank God for the opportunity for this one. Just to shed a little bit of light on the situation, what happened was is that I've been out of commission these past couple months, mostly because of a few health issues I've been going through, and they somehow really needed immediate attention. So I've been spending these last months just really focusing on myself, focusing on my fitness, my health, and pretty much everything else that matters. So I thank God again for being here. Everything's nice and dandy now. I gotta thank vaping as well because I don't know how speedy the recovery would have been if I were continuously smoking a pack or two every single day. So trying to get back as much as possible. Given the second chance, I'd like to somehow give back as much as I can to the community by doing what the only thing I do know how to do, which is talk about whatever products I have with me right now. So hopefully this helps a couple people out. And what I have for you guys today is an e-juice review. So e-juice reviews are something that I personally love doing. Sorry about that. Fine coats. E-juice reviews are something I just absolutely love doing simply because it's not as technical as, say, doing a mod review or an atomizer review. Now, with e-juice, you somehow get to give your own personal interpretation of what the flavor is to you. Now, we all know that taste is subjective and it usually varies from person to person. What I like won't be necessarily something that some of you guys might like, but at least being able to offer a personal opinion on how it does as an everyday juice is a nice little playground for me, I should say. So, getting down to it, let's not waste any time. I picked up two bottles at VapeCon, which, by the way, was an awesome success. I have to tip my hats off to the guys behind the event. The women were, yeah, check out the videos to see what I'm talking about. The food and the booze were overflowing, and of course, the e-juice, the atomizers, the mods, the tips, and everything Filipino was there. Again, tip my hat off to you guys for putting together the greatest Filipino minds when it comes to vaping all into one venue. Can't wait for VapeCon 2015, as well as the up-and-coming PBF 4.0 anniversary. So if you guys weren't there to check out VapeCon 2014, be sure to be there for this coming PBF anniversary and for next year's VapeCon because it was such a blast. You'll be missing half of your life if you weren't there. All right, so again, getting back to the e-juice review, I picked up these two bottles from VapeCon, and they're both from Homebrew. Now, just to give a little bit of history behind it, Richie, the guy who owns Homebrew, the guy behind Homebrew, is actually one of the pioneers of the e-juice manufacturing industry here in the Philippines. I remember 4 to 5 years back, he was the guy who used to supply all the raw materials for e-juice making, and he really gave a couple of our current e-juice manufacturers their start in the industry. So when it comes to e-juice, definitely this guy knows what he's talking about. And with these two new flavors, Rich, you really hit the ballpark on this one. Hit it out of the ballpark on this one. I mean, he came out with flavors that were somehow familiar, but added a little bit of a twist to it to make it unlike any of the other flavors out on the market today. So, starting off, let me just comment on the packaging of these two bottles. Beautiful packaging. You get those nice little non-stick labels on them, which have really stuck through despite being wet and being in my pocket and encountering all those other spills. And I got to comment on the color as well. This nice little apple green theme you got going on. It's really easy on the eye. So somehow it does entice you to vape a little bit more with them. And again, great job on the bottles. Nice and firm. They don't really break out that easily. And mine came in 10 mLs, but I do know they are available in 20 ml and 30 ml variants out on the market. And as I said, at a very competitive price. So go ahead and check that out. Um, let's go ahead and dive into these two flavors one by one, starting off with PB Jelly. So, as the name suggests, it's as blatant as it could be. PB Jelly is obviously a peanut butter and jelly inspired e-juice, and I love the fact that he came up with this flavor simply because it's something so familiar on the palate, but not exactly something we're used to experience in vapor form. As to how he was able to interpret the flavor in terms of e-juice, is something we have to see. Now, opening up the bottle, taking a nice good whiff at it, you could really smell the richness of the peanut butter. But at the same time, towards the end, when it reaches the top of your nostrils, you could really sense that refreshing aroma of berries and that jam-like flavor towards the end. So let's go ahead and see if it tastes as good as it smells. Let me just go ahead and get my stuff ready here. By the way, for today's review, I will be using the CC Pro on an 18350 setup. I also have my Fatty V1 atomizer with my recycler carbon fiber top cap, and this beautiful custom engraved Shallaya tip from Atmos. It is a hybrid tip. If you're familiar with Atmos, they do combine the technology of heat insulation by adding Teflon to the bottom of that stainless steel tip. So at least when you have it on, it still looks like that beautiful stainless steel setup is still complete. So yeah, the CC Pro as well is an 18, rather a telescopic model which can accommodate all 18 series batteries, and the recycler top cap is a first in the world. This is the first top air drawn atomizer, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's there to give you more flavor supposedly, and I find that the concept really works well behind it. So getting back, let's go ahead and drip in a couple of drops of this one. It is really quite a challenge because, as you guys can see, my bottle is almost empty. Richie, you know what that means, my man. It really was an arduous task to intentionally not go through the whole bottle just for the sake of this review. These two flavors were that good, man. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a nice long drag on PB Jelly. Man, this flavor just puts a smile on my face every time it enters and exits my system. It is that effing good. Richie, you came up with a diamond on this one, man. Great job. Now, I myself find myself enjoying PB-based juices or peanut butter-based juices on a regular basis, but a couple of problems I see with PB-based juices is, yeah, you might enjoy the taste and the smell yourself, but usually the people around you won't be in consensus with that. I find that somehow PB-based juices come out with that awkward smell, which really doesn't sit well with most of the other people around you. Now, for this one, though, I gotta commend Richie for solving that problem because as it exits, I mean, the vapor smells not really so much like the thick, creamy peanut butter scent, but it gives off more of that thick, jelly-like scent and aroma to it. So it's not really all that offensive to all the other people around you. Flavor is amazing. The peanut butter that comes in is really thick, really creamy, and it's as close to Reese's chocolate bars as you can get. The best part of it is that as it envelops your mouth with that thick, creamy flavor, upon exit, it somehow gives you that refreshing berry blast which isn't really exactly like Jello, but somehow you automatically associate it in your head that once you get that mix of peanut butter and anything berry like, you automatically associate it in your head that, man, this is just like how mom made it. This is peanut butter jelly in vapor form. And Richie, great job at coming up with this concept. Great job at mixing these two flavors together. I do get a hint of strawberry. I think it's strawberry towards the end. I'm not really that sure, but I don't really care. It's peanut butter and jelly to me. Flavor is amazing. Throat hit is just right for a 6 milligram juice. Don't see if you guys could really judge the viscosity, but it is a 50-50 PG-VG blend. As I said, mine comes in 6 milligrams, and it does give you that nice jab at the back of your throat, but it doesn't necessarily leave you with that scratchy feeling towards the end, which is perfect for me. I could see myself vaping this at higher densities, probably at around 9 or 12, but 6 milligrams hits me just right. It gets me to appreciate the flavor a whole lot more. And in all honesty, I went through 98% of this bottle in one day. I am guilty of that. And I'm pretty sure that most of you people at VapeCon who were able to pick up a bottle of PB Jelly went through the same dilemma as well. For all of you guys who got it in 30 ml, good for you. As for me, Richie, I need more, my friend. Okay, so getting into the numbers, let's go ahead and try to judge the flavor on a scale of 5. Flavor, can't say much about it. 4.5 out of 5. I'd like to refrain from giving it a perfect score, but if I could, I definitely would. This is as close to perfect as possible. Vapor production is at its best. I mean, it's a 50-50 blend. You can't really go wrong with a 50-50 blend. It's nice. It's nice when it comes to balancing it out. It's a nice balance as well of flavor and vapor. So vapor-wise, it's not as it won't produce as much clouds as VG-based juices, but I'd have to give this one at least a 4 out of 5 in that department. When it comes to the throat hit, as I said, it's not as strong as most of the other juices, as some of the other juices out on the market. It's not as scratchy on the throat, mostly probably because of the concentrates that were used in it. But for throat hit, I'd have to give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. That's not really much of an issue. If you want something stronger, you can always order it in higher densities. So throat hit, 3.5 out of 5. Overall, man, this is a solid 4 out of 5 e-juice. It's just that close to perfect as possible. And as I said, it's something familiar. It's something that you probably grew up with as well. If you grew up in the United States, I'm sure you're familiar with the peanut butter and jelly taste. And man, this is it. If you want peanut butter and jelly all day, this is a solution to it. So applause, man. 2 thumbs up, Richie, for this one. Great job on this flavor. All right, so moving on to the second flavor, we have Kwiki. Now, as you could also see, I did enjoy this flavor a lot as well. And I'm happy that this review is going to be over because finally I'm going to be able to go through the entire bottle. But with Kwiki, to be honest with you, honestly, the first few days of using the flavor, I wasn't really using it as an all-day, everyday vape. Simply because, yes, I do get that flavor of or rather of kiwi going in. Judging by the picture, it is a kiwi-based e-juice. So you do get that refreshing quality of kiwi going in, but somehow the flavor threw me off upon exhaling it because there was a certain X factor to it. There was a kicker to the e-juice which I could not quite put my finger on. But going through it, as I said, upon like the 3rd or 4th day of using it, finally you get that eureka moment that you get to distinguish what that kicker flavor is, and somehow you learn to appreciate the juice a whole lot more because you know what it is. Now, let me just go ahead and burn off the whatever's left of PB Jelly here. Another thing I forgot to mention that I really like about Richie's e-juice, about homebrew, is that you get the consistent flavor all the way till the point where your coil starts to burn out. So from start to finish, you get consistent flavor on every vape, and that is a big deal to me. In terms of a flavor being an everyday vape, somehow that plays a big role in my decision. I mean, getting consistent flavor on your palate and on your nostrils every single time means a lot, man. And as for this one, there is the coil burn. But as I said, um, even as the coil burns out, you still get the intensity of the flavor towards the end. And I don't know how you do it, man, but great job on that, Richie. So let's go ahead and move on to Quickie. It doesn't smell exactly like kiwi, honestly. You can get that immediately. It smells like something else. I'm not saying it smells bad. It smells awesome as well, but it doesn't smell like kiwi. So, dripping in, a couple of drops on this one. Two, three, four. Flowing it down. As I said, the scent you get from it doesn't really make it all that distinguishable right away. But as you vape it, yeah, you get that kiwi flavor, but it doesn't really help. That smell that comes out on top is what really distinguishes the flavor, and it's upon exit that you get it. So going in, you get the full refreshing qualities of kiwi. But as you exhale, man, there is that one of a kind flavor, which you do know in the back of your head. You know what it is, but you somehow just can't put your finger on it. And as I said, as I've continuously vaped through it, I found it ridiculous that after exhaling it, you just want to keep on dragging it continuously. And when I found out what the flavor was, when I finally was able to distinguish what it was, I found out that it was green apple. It was the sour tartness of green apple that keeps you want to vape it continuously. And again, Richie, great job on this one, man. Putting together these two flavors gives you that perfect balance of refreshingness, and as it exits, it somehow leaves your palate wanting more. That's why I went through this bottle pretty quickly as well. Amazing, amazing, amazing flavor. It gets you a while to appreciate it, but once you do, once you get hooked on it, I guarantee you, man, you'll be going through bottle after bottle after bottle. It is that good. So again, congratulations to Richie for coming up with a flavor that is unique. Somehow putting together all those different flavors and your expertise in mixing them and making them just right makes it a wonderful, top-notch e-liquid, whether here in the Philippines or anywhere else in the world. For Quickie, it gives you that refreshing feel to it that makes it perfect for the summer. Especially if you're here in the Philippines, you know how the heat gets, so it makes it perfect for your everyday smoothie. What I would like to see, though, is probably a mentholated variant of this one. The two flavors came together perfectly, but adding probably a touch of menthol would make it the perfect smoothie drink, which you could enjoy all day. But in general, man, amazing, amazing flavor as well. If you're looking for something to cleanse out your palate after vaping tobacco or pastry flavors, Quickie is definitely, definitely the answer. So, yeah, let's get into the numbers as well. For flavor, I'd have to give Quickie a 4 out of 5 in terms of flavor. Intensity-wise, it is just as intense as PB Jelly. Just to share a little bit of a gauge I use for flavor is usually I just take short drags on my PV with the flavor just drop in. That's usually what I take, what I use to judge a flavor's intensity. And with Richie's E-Juice, man, as I said, it's consistent from start to finish. a lot of disappointment in most of the e-juice brands I've been encountering recently is that lack of intensity of flavor. It's not too in your face, but it gives you at least a hint of what it is upon your first press. With a couple of e-juices lately, I mean, I love the recipes behind it, but the problem is it takes you a good 3 to 4 seconds before you're able to get that first punch of flavor on your tongue. And yeah, it might not. It's just not my cup of tea, I guess. But some people might enjoy it. But as for me, I love flavor upon the first press of the button. So there you go. Flavor 4 out of 5 on Quickie. Perfect quality vape. Vapor production is just as good as PB Jelly. For the throat hit, though, I noticed that Quickie somehow packed more of a punch. Probably due to the citrus nature of the concentrate of green apple, but somehow I found that the throat hit somehow lingered a bit more with Quickie compared to PB Jelly. So in that department, for a 6 milligram juice, it really hit the spot for me. So I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5 for throat hit. In general, man, two great flavors. Richie, I'd have to congratulate you again on this one for coming up with these. I look forward to seeing more flavors from you and something, again, as I said, which are not too redundant with the flavors that are available on the market today. So great job of putting together two beautiful, masterful flavors. Innovation at its best. 4 out of 5 on both. Great job, Richie. So, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Um, I'll be doing a couple more videos. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. I'm starting to ramble here, and this is taking a bit too long. So go ahead, please do watch out for the upcoming videos. I have a lot of products lined up. And thank you so much for supporting and for continuously watching. And I really do hope that this sparks a lot more life and rejuvenation, especially here in the local community. I encourage everybody to give your feedback. Please do review products. It does help a lot when it comes to, as I said, reinstating more vigor into the vaping community. So let's go ahead and work together for the purpose of uplifting everybody, the consumers, manufacturers, and everyone in the local industry. Vaping is something that we Filipinos are good at, and I'd really like to see that recognized all over the world and here in our country as well. Okay, I'm saying too much. That's it. I'm signing out. Please stay tuned for more. Again, this is Jay. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Vape on, my friends.